back to
Talkative Teens.
And today we're going to be talking about Descendants.
Descendants being the Disney franchise show with 3 parts, or more like movies. They have, they talk about struggles of being kids of a villain and pretty much not being able to make your own path in life. So one of the things that Descendants kind of teaches you is to not judge a book by its cover, because the villain kids, being new at a school for pretty much heroes, they're kind of social outcasts.
Kids. Yeah.
They're trying to be normal kids, but people think of them as social outcasts, which is very, very sad.
Yeah. But the main point about not judging a book by its cover is that the normal kids at what's the school called?
Oridon Prep, I believe.
Yeah, Oridon Prep. Like, not to judge the villain kids.
But yeah, pretty much. And like, just because they're kids of a villain doesn't mean that they can't be themselves, in a sense.
And just because they're kids of a villain doesn't mean that they're necessarily bad too.
Yeah, like,
and that they're a villain too.
Yeah, they're trying to build their own brand, but honestly, they are having such a hard time doing that.
Yes, because the people at
Oridon Prep.
Oridon Prep are judging the villain kids off of what their parents have like set up for them, like that they're villains and they're not good and they're all that.
Yeah, and I think the main people or like the main owners of the Oridon Prep is being Belle the Beast. It's kind of like hard for them. And then Power Control. You guys ever heard of that? So Power Control is basically when you, I guess, steal somebody's, like, I guess, authority in a way. You steal it from them, and they can't do what they need to or do what they please anymore, and it's kind of sad. In Descendants, 3, I think, with Audrey, her becoming the bad guy, she stole Maleficent's scepter and the Queen's crown, and she turned herself into this just really rude person because she was in love with Ben, and she said that Mal stole Ben from her, and how she wanted to have the throne and be queen and blah. Like, this girl got some major issues, I ain't gonna lie. What do you think?
Yeah, but like even going back to Descendants 1, the main antagonist was Mal's mom, which is Maleficent. And like even Power Control, I was thinking a little more literally about how the villains, they kind of like have like quote unquote powers, like especially Mal. She has like those like manipulation powers with her spell book, and there's like one scene where her powers kind of go rogue. Yeah. If you say like rogue, like kind of out of control. So like controlling your powers, like
like that's pretty much similar to Power Control. Like you want to be able to control what you do and how you use it. Like
exactly.
She was literally granted something that was too good for her own. Like, that was too much for her own good, and honestly, it's kind of sad. But at this point, I feel like she's starting to become a better person sooner in the franchise.
And she's gonna learn to be herself.
Yeah. Descendants 2, I believe, was
Uma, Ursula's daughter.
Yeah. So
another villain kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's the other villain kid? Harry, right?
Harry. Yeah. They're like
Harry
son of Captain Hook.
Yeah, son of Captain Hook and the daughter of Ursula. Mm-hmm. They both have this little turf area. And they kidnap Ben, and the VKs are trying to bring him back. Yes. There's just such a good song, which is the literal third topic. Good song choices. So if you guys burst into song, don't be alarmed. We're literally singing the songs from the movie.
What's my name?
What's my name?
Uma!
Say it louder!
What's my name? What's my name? Feel the power! No one's gonna stop us till the world will be ours! What's my name? What's my name? Uma! Uma! Say it loud! Uma!
Yeah. So that's like Uma's theme song pretty much. But, and ignore our crusty singing.
Like even Power Control, like the greediness of all that power.
Like she just kept wanting, because she was like, I guess, spoon fed the power when she was younger,
and like influenced by her mother as well.
Yeah, like
because like Uma's not like really a bad person.
She's not a bad person. She's kind of like Loki, misunderstood. But,
yes, exactly.
But like in her own way, in a sense, and like honestly, I feel kind of bad for her because she was doing it out of, I guess, love. Like her her love for Ben kind of drove her crazy, and I think there's like this really big fight scene in the end of the show where like they both transform. I think Uma turns into
the
like
octopus, half octopus, half person.
Yeah, and then Mal turns into a dragon, and then they like battle it out in the ocean, and it's like kind of cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. The graphics are very good.
But just like any other Disney movie, they literally just apologize to each other, and they're like,
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. I'm trying to steer your boyfriend, and I'm like, yo, cringe. But I mean, like, listen, I get it. They're trying to show happy endings, but like, come on, make it a little more realistic.
But like,
I think they're
like Ursula's the main villain.
Yeah.
Descendants 2.
Ursula, Uma
is the main villain, but like, honestly, it's just like the greediness and the power. Like, they're still trying to fight over the power, and then Ben.
Yeah. Like, I feel like Ben's just kind of like sitting there, just kind of chilling with his life.
Like a villain.
Literally, but he ain't the villain though.
No.
And I think Descendants 3 is no, I lied. So I'm sorry, but Descendants 2 is the one with Uma. So anything I've said about Uma or anything related to Ben kidnapping or anything, that's related to Descendants 2. Descendants 3 is my favorite.
I actually haven't watched Descendants 3.
Really?
No.
Oh my god. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna be the one talking about this. But Descendants 3 is about Mal trying to find her father, which is honestly.
Oh yeah. I have watched that.
Yeah, that one.
Hades is her father.
Which is literally that was like a big like controversy.
Surprised.
Everyone's like, who's her father? Most people figured it out, which is honestly kind of scary. But yeah, so they figured out that it was Hades. He had like this little magical rock, and that gave him his powers, and Mal stole it. And, like, she tried to use that for good, but it ended up getting into Uma's hands, and she decides to be the villain that she is and turn into something else.
Yeah. And then, like, wasn't there one part in Descendants 3, I think, when they were trying to take the barrier down?
Yeah.
And there was, like, big thing, the controversy between villains and
the hero kids.
The regulars, again, coming back into Descendants 3. About how, like, they can't be together, they can't be at the same schools, but then there's something about the barrier going down that was a big thing, and then
it was it was so like story plot changing, because like everyone's supposed to think that, oh, the villain kids are the bad kids, they never listen, blah blah blah.
Supposed to be separated.
They're actually, but it's just wrong. They're trying to make their own name away from their parents. They're not like. They didn't say copy and paste from their parents. They're trying to build their own name, be their own person, and it's sad that stereotypical things nowadays kind of drive kids to think that, and it's honestly really sad.
Yeah, because like their parents might have done something bad, but that doesn't
define them as a person.
Exactly.
Which is just
stole the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like they are trying to build their own thing for themselves, and it's like empowering, because you want to be able to teach kids that they can be their own person, and they don't have to follow in the footsteps of people that they don't like looking up to, or people that they feel aren't good. So it's definitely a nice thing to know, that Disney movies are teaching kids.
Yeah, and Disney has some good songs for their movies. Like, going back to, like, song choices, like, their songs are good.
Yeah,
whoever, like, writes a song, like, Descendants and Disney or whatever, like, props to you.
Yeah, like, we can't play the songs because we'd get copyrighted, but, there's definitely, like, that song with, like, the sword fighting scene.
Oh, yeah.
And then the one where they're on the boat fighting Uma. The argument song about the wand. Yeah. Those are all good songs, which I'm very happy about. But, like, I feel like Disney, they have to, like, they always have hidden messages in their songs. And it's a good thing, because kids need to learn that just because you yourself aren't, like, a person, just because you as a person, can make mistakes doesn't mean that you should be defined by them. Yeah, but like Disney shows it in a fun way for kids, and like even like young adults, like watching Disney movies, it shows like it influences them in a good way, and also like in a fun way. Like some kids, they don't take. Some kids, if you are kids. Some kids don't take I guess the lessons that could be learned from shows into consideration, which is honestly a really sad thing. Yeah. But if they actually did, they would end up realizing that there are so many things that have been put right in front of us that nobody actually thinks to decode or to realize. And it's honestly very sad because there's so many life lessons that you could learn. And just because you say, oh, this is a cool show, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it's a cool show, but what can you learn from it? Like,
yeah, like, if you're gonna watch it, then at least you're gonna have to, like, understand a little bit of it.
Yeah, it's kind of like reading the sequel. It's like watching the sequel to a movie, even though you've never watched the beginning parts of the movie. Like, it makes you clueless, and it's like watching the third episode of a show that you've never watched before. Like, how do you know the backstory? So,
yeah, how do you know the backstory, exactly.
So it definitely shows that you need to learn, like, watch and educate yourself on something before you actually talk about it, or before you try and, I guess, what's the word? Try and
assume
what the plot is, because it's sad. Like, there's kids,
like, all of those villain kids, like, has a past.
Yeah, like, especially how like, their parents were, like, really big, mean villains. Okay.
Like, everyone was afraid of them and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, all the popular cool guys.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that they should be scared of the kids. Like, there aren't carbon copies of their parents. Like,
carbon based.
Literally. Mal turned into a good person. So, yes, she had a couple flaws. But it's only because of the environment she grew up in. Not because, she had, like, not just because she had Maleficent as her mom. Doesn't mean, like, she was gonna be the exact same person. She ended up changing slowly throughout the films. And at the end, she ends up becoming this wonderful person that, honestly, I kind of look up to. And, you know, I have a funny story about Mal. So, when I was in 4th grade, Descendants 2 came out. And I was obsessed with it. Like, it was right during 2020, I think. Like, right before the pandemic. And it was October 2019 to close to 2020. And I'm, like, dressing up as Mal, whatever.
I know, she's, like, a role model. Because she's, like, a baddie, and she can sing.
Period Queen Slam. But I dressed up as her because I found so much comfort in her character, and I felt like she was such an inspiration to me.
Yeah.
Because she showed the evolution of somebody.
Yeah,
how
she's a very confident person, too.
Yeah, but the funny part is that I wore a purple wig to school, and a kid literally snatched it off my head 4 times. And some kid literally, like, the wig was on my head, the kid dragged it off my head and threw it on top of a closet. And I'm like, yo, give me back my wig. Give me back my weave.
Snatch.
Like, snatch.
Snatch. The weave is snatched.
But yeah, so definitely she always is going to be a good role model for me. And she's always going to be somebody that I look up to.
Yeah. What about some of the other characters in Descendants? Like, Evie?
R.I.P. Cameron Boyce. He was such a good actor.
Who did
he played
play?
Carlos.
Carlos, there you go. The son of
Cruella DeVille's son.
Yeah.
He was such a good actor. He was so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, honestly, especially him on Jessie. He was so funny on Jessie. Ooh, hey, it just feels like a party every day. Hey, 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 hey,
Jessie!
Ow, my ears.
I know, right? Headphone warning.
Literally.
Like 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, delayed. But he was good.
Yeah.
The guy.
It's some funny moments.
I can't remember what the character's name is, but Boo Boo Stewart. The character that he plays,
the son
Jay.
of
Jafar. So Jay. He's such a vibe. He's such a vibe. Like he feels like, I feel like, looking deep at his character, he looks like he feels like an outsider, but he knows he belongs.
He does.
And Evie. Like,
Evie, Mal's best friend, bestie,
and
daughter of, was it like
the evil queen?
The evil queen, there
Yeah.
You know more than me of all this princess stuff.
Oh, girlie, I don't ask if I know this stuff.
Yeah, but it's like the whole gang.
Yeah, they're being themselves, and that's a good thing because the whole moral of the story is to be yourself.
Yeah.
Don't let other people define you because you be your own person.
Tell them, Kalina.
Exactly. Period.
Exactly.
Because the thing is, if you go by other people's standards, you're not going to find yourself as a person, and you're going to change yourself to be this unhappy person. But if you go by who you think you are, then that's literally going to change your whole perspective on life. You're going to become your own person, and you're going to lead your own path and make other people realize that they can be themselves. So keep that in mind, people.
Yeah. Always up here. And by the
yeah.
way, the dance moves in Descendants,
fire. Crisp.
No, because I was watching some behind the scenes, and they spend a lot of time doing dancing, singing. It kind of reminds me of like a musical kind of. Like, they're always dancing and singing. Like even like wait, what's it called? Like Wicked something?
Yeah, Ways to Be Wicked.
Ways to Be Wicked. They're dancing in the school, and like there's like background characters and like cheerleaders and like football jocks that are dancing in the background, and it's like very cool to watch.
And it's hard for them too because they have to like memorize the whole dance number.
Yeah.
And like if one person messes up, then it messes up the whole take, and everybody has to redo it. And it's just like I like props to those people.
Exactly.
Like it's so difficult to just do that by itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Alright. And that ends today's segment. Please make sure to
like and subscribe, and make sure to follow us on all our socials.
And please remember that you are
beautiful and wise.
And to always have love and affection for the people around you.
Bye! Ka-chow.
Boom.